Hi everyone, my name is Adeline. I know my story sounds like something unreal, like in the movies. The only difference is that I don't really understand what a movie is. Why is that? I don't know much really, and at the same time, I know things you wouldn't even dream of. My full name is Adeline Frank, the name my mother gave me. Later, she sold me for a lack of money. I was bought by people from our boarding school so I wouldn't starve and freeze. I was given a new name. They decided to take care of me and people like me. There are 14 of us in total. Everyone has their own new name, and that's where they called me Belle. Our boarding school always had a strict routine. Early rising, shower, exercise, pool, breakfast, then theory classes. We studied all kinds of forbidden, explosive substances, even drugs. We knew everything about it. Color, size, history, and why people get them. Then there was practice, where we tried some things on ourselves, like assembling and disassembling weapons. Now, you would think that we were brought up as soldiers, right? But we weren't. We're not soldiers. We're secret trump cards, top aides to government forces. Sounds cool, doesn't it? But was it really that cool? I was adopted at the age of 3. By the time I was 17, I remembered almost nothing about my past life with my real mom. My siblings and I did the chores we were given, and that was it. If you did well, you got a day off. And if you did poorly, you worked on your physical training for another 7 days. In addition to exercise and the pool, we learned some martial arts, wore the same uniform, spoke by the rules, ate quickly, and kept our rooms clean and tidy. We were inculcated that we had no one closer than our brothers and sisters. Our home was the barracks, and the grounds attached inside. Sometimes we were taken on missions to other countries or cities, but we didn't just sit around and relax. We flew in and completed missions from the helicopter. What was the mission? It was different for each student. For example, Bax could see very well and without glasses. He was like walking binoculars. They took him on tasks where it was necessary to discern complex mechanisms for disarming bombs. He was our sapper. Lisa, she could taste any forbidden substance with her tongue. So when someone tried to smuggle in cakes, Lisa would detect it. Samantha had excellent hearing. Most of the time, she would find people trapped underground, even 15 meters deep. I, on the other hand, could smell anything. It didn't matter if they were people or objects, I just found them in neighboring blocks. So most of the time, I was the one they took with them.
Belle, as always, great job.
Thank you, sir.
I'll give you the day off tomorrow, but after tomorrow, it's another mission.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. A day off meant I could get a good night's sleep and skip breakfast and exercise, but I still had to come to class and practice. We didn't know any other life, so this one seemed normal. One day, Lisa came home from her assignment very upset, and I decided to ask her why. Lisa, what happened? Did you fail? No, the assignment was fine. Tomorrow they gave me the day off. Why are you crying then? Did something else happen? I think I remember something. What do you mean? Today, we went to a cafe on the edge of town. There were reports of a sale of TCM for teenagers. You know, the stuff that blows your head off. Anyway, it can't be detected through the lab because there's no base yet. And I can just feel it. Anyway, it was sold in apple pies, and when I tasted it, I suddenly remembered that my mother used to make one just like it for me.
Maybe it was the medication that knocked your head off.
No, Belle, you know that doesn't affect me. I remembered my mother's face, her warmth, and the taste of the pie. What did our commanders tell you? How did you end up here?
That my mother sold me.
Do you think it's true? What if we weren't sold? That's what they told me too, but would a mother making a pie for her child sell her? Lisa's words took me by surprise. She cried, and I realized that I had never wondered who my mother was either. The thought made me feel uncomfortable. I spent the next week running errands, and when I got a day off, I went into the captain's office and asked him how I got there. He was confused at first, asked why I wanted to know, and I just said, I did.
Your mother needed money. We found her in the street. You were naked, hungry, in just a robe.
So my mom agreed to sell me right away?
She had circumstances. We saved you from death and her from starvation.
Do you still have that robe?
Why do you need it?
I don't need it. It's just the only memory I have, and I want to keep it. It'll make me even stronger. I'm grateful to you for saving me, Cap. After these words, he gave me the robe, which was neatly sealed in an airtight bag. I took it and went to my room. As soon as I opened it, hundreds of smells hit my nose, which immediately awakened hidden memories in me. I inhaled my mother's scent, and I remembered our home, my mother, her face, her bedtime stories, how she tickled me. The name Adelina popped into my head, and it was disconcerting because we were led to believe that the names we have now were given to us by our real parents. In that second, I knew what I had to do. I was sent to a town that bordered the one where my mother lived. After completing my mission, I was supposed to get on a helicopter and leave, but I pretended I had a stomachache. The soldiers were waiting for me by the bathroom, and I escaped through the window. I had to rob a man outside because I had no money at all. I hitchhiked and caught a ride in the direction of the town. While the soldiers were looking for me, I was on my way to my goal. I wasn't raised as a dog for nothing. I could just pick up a trail and follow it. I sniffed outhouses, trash cans, stores, and people. Everyone looked surprised and even wary of me, but I kept looking. 2 hours later, I smelled a familiar scent. It was our Cap. He'd come after me. They were patrolling the whole town, questioning people with my picture. A couple of people said where I was and where I was hiding. They had taken bags with them so he could see me the fastest, and he saw me. I could smell him. He was looking right at me, and I was hiding behind some trash cans at the time. I just stood up and gestured to him that I was looking for my mom. After a couple of minutes, their scents grew fainter, and he led them away in another direction. After a moment, I smelled a slight, faint scent, just like the one on my robe. "Mom?" I said aloud and ran over there. I ran 4 blocks, already exhausted, but I saw a house, exactly like the one from my memories. I knocked on the door, and an older woman came out. She stared at me for a long time, silent, and then suddenly said, "Adeline!" She almost fell to the ground. I picked her up, and we went into the house. Mom hugged me so hard, crying bitterly. I only asked her, "Where did that robe come from?" And my mom said she made it for me for my birthday. The mom who sold me wouldn't sew a robe for my birthday, right? "What? Sold you? Did they tell you that? How dare they? Oh God, I've been looking for you all these years. If I had known you weren't far away. Forgive me, my girl, forgive me. I love you so much. I believed and hoped that you were still alive." "Yes, I am. I guess they only chose me and the other guys because of our abilities." "You've had a super sense of smell since you were little. Did you know?" "I'm your mother, of course I knew. You used to find candy in the garage and smuggle it to your room. You just tell me where they were lying around, so many pieces, and ask me to get them. These people tried to buy you, but I wouldn't let them. The only question is, how did they find out about you?" Then she told me that I was kidnapped by some people late one night. She ran after them for several hours, then fell down and broke her leg. She showed me the scar on her knee. I believed her. She said she wouldn't give me up again, would fight to the last man. And I realized that the other guys probably had parents too, and they needed help. My mother and I talked all night. She bathed me like before, stroked me long before going to bed, sang songs, and read my favorite book. Then I fell asleep for the first time in a room where I felt nice, safe, and warm. Mom hasn't changed anything since then, not even the bed. My mother and I lay down right on the floor and fell asleep in each other's arms. The next day, I had a plan that could help free everyone from boarding school. Only it required strength. My brothers and sisters needed me, but that meant I had to go back there. Tell me, guys, did you like my story? Would you like to know the rest of it? How do you think it ended? I'll reveal all the interesting stuff in the next video. Just start by supporting me so I know you're really interested. Deal? Write your opinion in the comments below the video. Don't forget to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.